As reported earlier, there are hopes in South Auckland that a truce has been reached between the tribesmen and the killer bees.
Otara is ground zero for the gangs, with kids there courted by them from a young age. For more than 40 years, Sally Paia, himself a former gang member, has been working with youth in Otara.
Now he's urgently calling for more services for at-risk youth and their families to give kids more options than gang life. Our Māori Affairs correspondent Te Rina Kōwhai has the story.
He's a well-known Otara resident and veteran youth worker tasked with helping at-risk children and their whānau in the neighbourhood, a neighbourhood that includes the local gang.
It's a brand. Pearl Baker's well-known hotspot. Gangs, this is killer bees territory.
Sally Paia is deeply connected to the place and says the need is here.
It's a breeding ground for criminals. I don't like to say that, but that's the reality is that because of poverty and kids grow up, what's there? What's hope for them?
On the streets, Paia works mainly with under 10-year-olds, doing things like teaching them how to build their own bikes. As he says, working with children any older is now too difficult. He is calling for more services to help the community because in most cases, mum or dad or both parents are not around. The kids are raised either by their older siblings or their grandmother, and the cycle of deprivation continues through generations.
There's a family that I'm working with, the third, fourth generation now. I worked with their grandmother when she was young, and now she's a grandma and looking after her mokos, and the cycle still continues.
In recent weeks, Auckland has seen multiple ram raids and gang shootings, but Sully says gang activity and drugs during COVID didn't stop, they increased. He also says police have known about drug houses in the area for several years but do nothing, so seeing children as young as 8 selling drugs is normal.
The gangs have taken over a parenting role and raising our children and ended up in an environment where they think that they're taken care of by getting money in it, but they're being used pretty much for gang activities and stuff. These are angry kids. Because they live in an environment where it's an angry environment.
Paia, an ex-member of the Stormtroopers gang formed in Otara, knows firsthand what the children are going through.
It comes down to the life at the home. So they find a place where they feel accepted in, apparently, the gangs, ram raid gangs, their comradeship, they're like a family.
For months now, he has been helping families in the area to set up their own gardens.
I'm going into the families, right in their homes. That way, because a lot of them, I know that they've suffered by themselves. They never come out until things have fallen apart.
Using gardening as a bridge to connect families, hoping for a better harvest in the future. Te Rina Kōwhai, Newshub.